Welcome to Voice of Niger TV Daily Newspaper Review, where you get the insight of both local, national, and international newspaper front pages.
Hello and welcome to Voice of Niger TV Newspaper Review. I am Fatima Abdullahi Muhammad, and here with me I have different Nigerian newspapers and international newspapers. I'll be giving you the headlines, so watch and listen. If you love any of the headlines, go to the nearest newspaper vendor, get a copy of the newspaper, and get through to the details. Let's begin with Daily Independent newspaper. From this newspaper, I'll be giving you the following headlines. Federal government prefers politicking to resolving ASU strike. That's coming from Union. It has about 3 riders. Blames Nigerians as 1.7 million students sit at home. Slams federal government over new institutions, while 104 varsities remain short. NASU, SANU strike set to go indefinite in 2 weeks. You can get that from page 29. Abuja to Kaduna train attack. Bandits connived with Boko Haram to unleash havoc. That's coming from federal government. Insecurity. Reps accuse security agencies of complicity. Want NSA defense chief sacked. You can get that from page 7. INEC raises the alarm over invalid registration. It has a rider. Moves to prosecute erring staff. You can get that from page 6. And above the nameplate of Daily Independent, gunmen attack police station in Anambra, kill 4 cops. You can get that from the Daily Independent newspaper, and it has a rider. 29 persons died in Sokoto boat mission. Alright, that's all I'll be giving you from the Daily Independent newspaper this morning. From the Punch newspaper, I have the following headlines. Security agents aiding bandits, alert reps, demand NSA ministers sacking. You can get that from page 2 and 5. It has about 3 riders. Soldier posted to Zamfara gave uniform to bandits in Plateau. That's coming from Deputy Speaker. Gunmen kill 150 in Plateau villages, 30 in Ebonyi, and Anambra police station attacks. Presidency replies Northern elders, rules out Buhari's resignation, blames past government. Alright, 2 Ikoyi high-rise building fail integrity test, risks collapse. 2 Ikoyi high-rise buildings fail integrity test, risk collapse. Osinachi church unaware of abuse. Minister says husband married to another woman. You can get that from page 7. And above the nameplate of the Punch newspaper, I'll be courageous as Nigeria's president. That's coming from Tinubu. You can get that from page 27. Kidnapped train passengers' families protest today. Federal government assures of rescue. You can get that from page 7. And federal government's commercial loans rise by 31%, hit $14.67 billion. That's on page 26, and that's all I have for you from the Punch newspaper. From the Nation newspaper, I have the following headlines. Bandits, Boko Haram pacts behind renewed insecurity. It has a rider. They collaborated to attack train, killing Plateau, says federal government. Cracks over zoning, concessions deepening PDP. It has a rider. Presidential aspirant failed to agree. U.S. report, attacks, insecurity curtail human rights in Nigeria. You can get that from page 29. And above the nameplate of the Nation newspaper, INEC voids 1.1 million voter registration. You can get that from page 25. And lastly, police pension fraud, ex-director to refund 22.9 billion naira. You can get that from page 6. It has about 3 riders. 6-year jail term affirmed. Lekki Ikoyi link bridge tolling resumes tomorrow. Fayemi Olawepo Hashim to join presidential ticket race. You can get those news from page 27 and page 25. That's all I'll be giving you from the Nation newspaper. From National Economy newspaper, I have the following headlines. ICT skills gap may undermine Nigeria's potential. $120 billion investments gains. It has rider as nation's labor market underprepared for digital disruptions. Statistician General Simon Harry dies at 57. You can get that from page 5. NCAA awaits security clearance for Nigeria Air Certificate application. You can get that from page 5. And above the nameplate of national economy, World Bank retains Nigeria's 2.5% GDP projection. Alright, that's all I'll be giving you from the National Economy newspaper. From Voice of Liberty, I have the following headlines. Kidnappings. Over 11,000 schools shut down in North since 2020. That's coming from UNICEF. 2023 presidential aspirant. Finally, PDP forum agree on consensus agreement. Rising insecurity. Nigeria is a failed state. That's coming from PDP reps members. Insecurity. Nigerians abandoned to fate. That's coming from Kuka. And lastly, from Voice of Liberty, Nigeria's insecurity, 2,968 killed, 1,484 abducted in just 3 months. That's coming from reporters that says Niger, Zamfara, Kaduna, most violent states. Alright, that's all I'll be giving you from Voice of Liberty. Let's move on to New National Star, and from this newspaper, I'll be giving you the following headlines. Massive corruption affects all levels of government in Nigeria. That's coming from US. You can get that from page 4. Insecurity. Boko Haram now collaborates with bandits, says federal government. You can get that from page 4. 2023, Bayelsa, Ebonyi, Rivers, top list of states with invalid PVCs. You can get that from page 22, and we can see a picture where the man our future is guaranteed with. That's Prince Malik Ado Ibrahim for president under the Young Progressive Party. Alright, above the nameplate of New National Star, NLC gives federal government 21 days ultimatum to address ASU's demand. That's from page 10. And lastly, asking Buhari to resign, another ploy of desperate politicians. That's coming from Presidency. You can get that from page 4. That's all I'll be giving you from the New National Star newspaper. From the Vanguard newspaper, I'll be giving you the following headlines. Outrage as Sultan, Khan, MBF, reps lament killings. You can get that from page 5. Insecurity, 31 killed in Southeast in 72 hours. You can get that from page 11. 2023, Nigeria needs courageous, experienced leader like me. That's coming from Tinubu, and you can get that from page 10. 28 die as boat capsizes in Sokoto. You can get that from page 6. And above the nameplate of Vanguard, oil firms spill 1,545 barrels of crude oil in Q1 22. You can get that from page 19. And lastly, Igbo presidency, our position is without apologies, Afenifere tells NEF. You can get that from page 10. And that's all I'll be giving you from the Vanguard newspaper. From New Telegraph newspaper, I have the following headlines. Airlines begin ticket sale in dollars, April 19. You can get that from page 2. Fallen Angels, the unknown gunmen holding Southeast captive. You can get that from page 4, page 16, 23, and 24. Herdsmen taking over 68 Berom villages, killed 11,000 people. You can get that from page 2 and 30 of New Telegraph newspaper. Buhari's resignation not solution to security challenges. Presidency replies NEF. You can get that from page 5. And above the nameplate of New Telegraph, VAT ICT firms pay 62.3 billion naira in just 3 months. You can get that from page 18. And lastly, World Bank raises Nigeria's growth forecast to 3.8%. It has a rider, reforms oil price to influence process. That's all I'll be giving you from the New Telegraph this morning. Let's move on to Daily Trust newspaper, and from this paper I have the following headlines. How bright to be, 28 others die in Sokoto boat mishap. It has about 3 riders. Village head loses 5 children, niece, 2 in-laws. Accident second in 10 months. That's coming from local government chair. Victims given mass burial. APC presidential ticket. Buhari's body language unsettles Osibajo, Tinubu, and Mechi others. It has about 2 riders. President in a tight corner. Party set to release timetable for primaries. You can get that from page 6. And 8 container loads of cutlasses intercepted in Lagos. Despite CBN ban, textile tops Nigeria import commodities. And lastly, 2023, youth lead in fresh voter registration with 78.7%. That's all I'll be giving you from Daily Trust newspaper. From Leadership newspaper, I have the following headlines. 2023, PDP closes entry today. 17 presidential aspirants pick forms. You can get that from page 7. 24 hours after Northern Elders' resignation call to President Muhammadu Buhari, federal government vows to unveil perpetrators of Kaduna Plateau attacks. You can get that from page 4. It has about 4 riders. Says we are working to free abductees. Call for president's resignation, not solution to insecurity. That's coming from presidency. Reps lament protracted terrorist attacks. Ask president to implement security summit report. Insurance may cough out 119 million naira compensation for train attack victims. 1.8 million new PVCs ready for collection. That's coming from INEC. NLC gives federal government 21 days to resolve crisis in education sector. And above the nameplate of leadership, Senate passes revised 2022 fiscal framework today. You can get that from page 22. And lastly, 24 billion naira fraud. Supreme Court affirms ex-pension director's 6-year jail term. You can get the full story from page 8 of Leadership newspaper. The international newspaper with me right here is the Business Standard, and from this newspaper I'll be giving you the following headlines. How health research has been ignored year after year. Mega project to revamp national economy. That's coming from the Prime Minister. 4 JMB men to die for killing Humayun Azad. Bangladeshi at low risk of death distress. That's coming from WB. And lastly, Bangladeshi security forces enjoy impunity for abuses. That's coming from US report. That's all I'll be giving you from the Business Standard newspaper. From Daily Mirror, I have the following headlines. Exclusive, Johnson warned. Worst is to come, Prime Minister. It has about 2 riders. Downing Street insider says he faces 3 more COVID fines. Bank to rights claim as the pressure grows on him to quit. Alright, that's all I'll be giving you from Daily Mirror newspaper. Lastly, from the international newspapers, I have the Times. And from this newspaper, I'll be giving you the following headlines. Channel boat migrants will be sent to Rwanda. Finland on path to join NATO within a few weeks. And lastly, cheaper eats, how the food editor cuts his bill. Alright, that's all I'll be giving you from the international newspapers and the Nigerian newspapers. If you love any of the headlines, Go and get a copy of the newspaper and read the full story. Yes, we've come to the end of Voice of Niger TV newspaper review. Do join me same time tomorrow for another interesting edition of newspaper review. Until then, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and follow us on our social media handle. I am Fatima Abdullahi Muhammad. Bye for now.